back now. The country's detective and forensic service units in the South African Police Service have this morning received a boost with the injection of additional vehicles to enhance, among other functions, their response time to crime scenes. Police Minister Bheki Cele, together with the National Commissioner Fannie Masemola, handed over in excess of 130 vehicles to the Criminal Record Center units that are responsible for linking suspects to crime scenes. Watching those developments is our reporter Molemo-waOne Mothoa, who joins us now live. Molemo, take us through how this handover ceremony took place.
And indeed, we are coming live to you from the Tshwane SAPS Academy here in Pretoria West, where the police minister has just handed over 130 vehicles, some of which will be dispatched to the provinces. He actually indicated the fact that there's a need to capacitate the unit or the sector with enough equipment in order to combat crime efficiently and effectively. But just to hear more on this, we are now joined by the minister. Minister, thank you so much for your time. Can you just tell us the handing over this morning? What are these vehicles going to be used for and where?
Well, there is a thing called crime scene. South Africans maybe would not know that most of the time you win or you lose your case at the crime scene. So it's important then to capacitate that level of policing. These cars will be sent to the provinces, different provinces, especially those that have a high level of crime, your KZN, Western Cape, Gauteng and all that. They are there to assist those forensic people who will be taking their equipment to collect that evidence, so that when the IO, the investigating officer, goes to court, is better equipped because the evidence was properly done. But also you saw those almost forensics on wheels, where they've got capabilities as they cars, not just to drive the scientists to the scene, but themselves they've got all equipment so that they are able to assist the scientists and those that are collecting evidence from the crime scene to be able to work even under any different conditions, whether it's dark, whether it's night. They've got all those equipments. You saw that they've got the equipment and capabilities of even separating the blood, the animal blood from the human blood. Even before that blood is collected for the DNA, they've got the capabilities of detecting if there is a dead body in that particular area or what is underground. So those are the capabilities that the police are here. Very thankful to the National Commissioner, especially the President, who has allowed the police to get the better budget after the previous administration have cut that budget to be able to update these things. We know that science is not stagnant. Now and again we need to put resources to upgrade it. So very happy, feeling real good that these capabilities are given to the South African Police Service.
Talking about crime levels, we've just witnessed earlier this week the killing of children 4 and 7 years old, where they were gunned down, at their home in Soshanguve, and not only gunned down but also burned. Are you confident that crime is actually being combated at a level where South Africans can really say they are confident about this?
That is Soshanguve you talk about, where these 2 kids were killed. And you remember that a few weeks ago, another young child was killed, 5-year-old, in Soshanguve. We are very glad that at least those were killed. The first young Teboho Jr., those 4 are arrested. We believe these will be arrested. But these things we are raising is exactly what, as the Ministry of Police, we have developed the document that has been adopted by the South African Cabinet to say fighting crime goes across the government. Things like those kids that are killed, people like community, the families and other departments, social development, the early intervention and all of us, the basic education, to be part of looking after those kids. Indeed, police must do a lot of work in prevention, in combating crime, investigating and arresting those people. But other government, the environmental design, putting lights on that, putting houses, putting proper streets, giving proper numbers of house numbers so that police, they are able to move quicker. You know, there are places. If I take you to a place called Dipsluot here, there is a place called Extension 1. If I walk with you in the middle of the night, I can't see you, I'll have to feel you, I have to touch you. So it's also difficult for the police to respond on those particular areas and all that. If crime happens there, it's unlike when the crime happened in Sentin, where you give the name of the street, the house number and all that. Police will move quicker there rather than moving where there is no address, no lights, no street, no number, not even houses themselves. So the conditions and environmental design of our society and communities will also help to enable the law enforcement to respond quicker, but also be able to put them where they're supposed to be without guessing and moving around. And indeed, crime is for all of us across the government to fight. But going back to the kids, there is a provincial commissioner here. We have spoken with the matter. We are trying to pursue to say we must be able to resolve that. But calling on the parents, calling on the families, all of us, let's make it our job to look after kids.
And what are your plans, Minister, your security plans to keep South Africans safe post-elections in light of the current political developments? Well,
up to this point, people were very scared that these elections might not be very much peaceful. You are all here. You have witnessed what has happened. There were some few flare-ups before the elections. Umtata, 1 and 2 blockades in Durban and in Potchefstroom of the taxi industry. Police were able to deal with that. So there was a lot of fear. The preparation was thorough. There were those fears, but nothing ever materialized. So the South African police and other law enforcement, this National Defence Force and all those that work, they were on top of the situation. They're still on top of the situation, looking at the situation. It does look like the situation is getting calmer now. We will be looking at it. So whoever thinks can threaten and change it, we have learned our lessons, by the way. July 21 and other times we have learned our lesson. We're better equipped. Police better trained, we've trained more public order policing to be able to work with such situation. We have improved the relationship with the community structures. Hence, we budgeted about 70 million rand last year to be able to work with those structures, improve the relationship with the communities. All those things and what you see now here and all, training more police, that situation at a medium and long term will be able to assist the situation to be better when it comes to the crime prevention, crime combating, investigating, and finally enforcing the law.
You've been the police minister since 2018, and looking back, would you say you are happy under the current levels of crime? Would you say enough strides, have been made in combating crime?
Well, I was here in 2010 as a national commissioner and all that. Lot of work was done on there. I don't know if people have gone back to look at the crime situation, the level of crime stats and all that. And indeed, something terrible happened in between from 2012 coming to 2018. There's been a lot of reconstruction that we've been trying to do. You remember that for some reason the policing was really dismantled. For eight years we had the a head of crime intelligence suspended. Numbers dwindled. For instance, 2010 with 195,000 police. Come 2023 we had 187 with increased population and all that. A lot of things, the things like Hawks were dismantled. The proper head was taken and they put one con man as the head of Hawks and all that. And things need to be put and reconstruct and rebuild. Hence the training you see. A year before last we trained 10,000, last year 10,000, this year we're training 10,000 and all, putting these capabilities you see here, getting more budget thanks to the president who has seen to it that if you don't budget and give resources to policing, crime will go on. Previously, people will cut it from the police and take money and put on other things and all that. I'm very happy with the reconstruction of the police. As I've said, more people have been trained on that one. The units have been improved. There was a call by Falam and the Professor Africa to improve the POP. We're doing that. We have trained more POP. We're putting more cars, as you can see, putting more personnel, training more, improving the relationship between the police and the communities. We are very confident that not in a long future the situation will improve when everything and everybody is on the proper workstation to combat criminality and crimes.
Lastly, Minister, with the winds of change sweeping across the country, what are your plans under the proposed national government of national unity? I
have home. As a human being, if there is a start, you would be mad not to think about the end. There is a start, the end has arrived, if it has arrived, and I left home to come and work. So if work is not there, I go home and reflect and see how you go forward. But life has got many streams of life and all that. You can't be kicking the dust when the time has arrived, asking people and worried about it, as if you didn't know that the time will come. As I've said, once it starts, it will have to end. I can just be grateful to the people of South Africa, in particular my organization, ANC, that has given me I never dreamt when I was in exile, when I was in prison, I never dreamt that I would be a minister one day. It has come, it has happened. Just be grateful, be gracious, be humble. Go home and keep quiet. Don't move around making noise as if somebody has told you that you'll be permanently a minister. That there is no such things. Where there is beginning, maybe that's why the Bible says those have arrived. So what?
Thank you, Minister. I understand that's Police Minister Bheki Cele there, expounding on the issues relating to the combating of crime, levels of crime in the country. Also saying, or rather, pointing to the fact that everything that has a beginning surely must come to an end, and if it means this is the end of the road for him, he has, a home to go to, and that's back to the studio.
All right. Quite a, I suppose, gracious exit, some people might say. Molemo-waOne Mothoa, thanks very much indeed. Molemo's live to us there from Pretoria.